Dear Professor, and hello everyone. So today, we're going to talk about a topic called Keylogger. So to introduce this topic, first I want to talk about how essential it is. In nowadays society, it is very crucial to know about Keylogger as they play a significant role in the world of cybersecurity. Others, computer and smartphones show several signs when they get infected by a keylogger. This post lists a few such noticeable signs and symptoms of keylogger infections on computer and smartphone. And also we're going to talk about the keyloggers, what is it and how it works. Next. So here's our group. We have 3 members, Puthika, me, and Monunhh. Next. So here's our table of content. First, we're going to talk about the keylogger in general. Then we're going to move on to the concept of action about keylogger. Third, we're going to talk about the transference of data. And fourth, we're going to talk about the code explanation by Mr. Puthika. And next is going to talk about the limitation and requirements of our project. And the last is we're going to talk about the detections and prevention of keylogger. So what is keylogger in general? Next. Keylogger is either a software program or hardware device which is designed to capture, store, and share the user key stock with others for many reasons. Keylogger can be used for a variety of reasons. Hackers use keylogger to steal the victim's personal or confidential information like bank details, usernames, and password. On the other hand, keylogger can be used by admin for monitoring troubleshooting activities. So let me see how it works in the next slide. We're going to talk about the 5 common types of keylogger. First is hardware keylogger. Second is key grabber. Third is wireless key sniffer. 4 is key sound picker. 5 is software variants of keylogger. Next. So in this slide, I'm going to talk about how does the keylogger work in general. Keylogger works like a camera. It captures each key that you enter like a person sitting behind you and watching all of the activities and store those key stock locally or send them to a remote place. In addition to the key stock, new keyloggers are loading with more and more capable, and some of the new keylogger can capture screenshots, webcam pictures, audios from the microphone. Another thing is that it can send all the capture data to remotely sitting operator over the internet or just store in its local database. Next. So here is the software keylogger. We have 4 pros and 3 cons. The first pro is that it is remotely manageable. Another thing is it's cheap and anyone can create custom loggers. Moreover, it's also very flexible too. And the con is that it is demand technical knowledge, so it is very hard to use. And it is easy to infect. And another con is that it is easy to detect by antivirus program. Next. And here's the hardware keylogger. We have also 4 pros and 3 cons. The first pro is that it doesn't require more technical knowledge, so it is easy to use and it's easy to install. Another thing is that it is efficient and accurate and easy to avoid antivirus. And the 3 cons are physical access is required, it is easy to spot, and it is expensive. Next.
So thank you, Sokly, for your part. And now, after knowing what a keylogger is, we will dive into our project that we are working on. So how does our keylogger works and how does it operate? There are 2 kinds of users that would use and benefit from the keylogger. The first user would be the victim, and the second user would be the hacker. So firstly, the victim would need to download the Python file of the keylogger onto their machine system. And in order to activate the keylogger, the victim would have to manually activate the Python file themselves. And once the program is activated, it will start to record the key that is pressed from the victim machine. And when a certain time is complete, the program will use the key that is logged to send us a report through an email to the hacker. And this is the flowchart of our entire program. The process of the program starts when you activate the Python file. And once you activate the Python file, the keylogger starts and it breaks into two processes that run at the same time using threading, which we will go through later. The first process record the key that is pressed at the victim side, while running the second process, which is a timer that starts when the keylogger starts. And once this timer stops, it will print the key that is logged onto the terminal. And the string that stores this key log is used as a message for an email message to you, so that you can see this key log without using their computer, meaning the email is sending automatically. And during this time it takes to send this email, the program is still running in the background to record another key again. And unless you close the Python file, the program will run from start of keylogging to sending another email again. Next.
Transference of data. How does our keylogger work? More specifically, how does our keylogger transfer its data to us? Next. Our keylogger uses email as a way to transfer its data. So our keylogger uses email as a way to collect data from our target's machine and send it to ours. So here you can edit in the import in the other, like the logger script, you can edit your email password and even the second to of like data collection and like sending, all in this bottom code. Okay, next. How to create email to use for sending report. So we will get into this later to why like we recommend doing this. But so the first thing is that we recommend you to use a fake email that is registered through a burner phone and not your real telephone, your phone number. And second is using email password in the code is not recommended because the victim, they will be able to see your password and your email, so they might be able to log in. So we recommend to use the app password in your email account. From your Gmail account, go to security, enable like two-factor authentication, and then choose app password. Then like generate app password by selecting and select app and choose custom. Okay, next.
And now I will explain what each part of the code function in our program does, so it's easier to go to the code itself. So first, in order to do this project, we need to use three libraries, which is first one is the Pynput library, which can record the keystroke that are being pressed and record the movement of your cursor. But in this project, we only use the keystroke recording. And threading, like we mentioned before, is used to run multiple functions at the same time. And the reason why we need threading is because we don't want the program to stop or get interrupted when it's trying to send an email. Thus, we need the threading. And SMTP lib is used to access and log in to send our report through email. And it's better to look at the code from the start of the program, which is in the Keylogger file. And at the start of the program, it contains a number in which this number, like Monunhh mentioned, would need it's set on how long it is until it sends out a report, and it includes the email address that it sent to, and also the app password that we set before. And once this all set, it will go into a function called start from the keylogger file. And from the start function, a start function is a function that starts the keylogger program. And first, it listens to what key is being pressed from Pynput, which is pynput.key.listener. And when a key is pressed, it will go into a function called process key press. And in the process key press is just to format the key, because if we don't format it, it will print line by line from one key, and a key press will show the result of, for example, like this. If we press K, it will show U and K. Press E, it will show U and E. So this function will format into removing the U part and connect each word together instead of just going down line by line with just one key press. And with the key dot space, if we press on the space key, it will show key dot space. And we want it to format to just an empty string, a space, so that it looks nicer. And everything else, it will stay. For example, a tab key will be print out as a key dot tab. A backspace will print out as a key dot backspace. And we can go back to the start of the function, and where the key with the key that we press, it will go into a report function, and which a report function is just a function to send the key log to an email. And this function don't run interrupting with the main program of the recording key itself, because we are using threading, which could run multiple functions at the same time. And after that, it will go into sending an email, which will access and log in into the email and Gmail server. And this is all again.
Okay. Limitation and requirement. Area of improvement. So what we can do improve next time. First of all, so we have three main area of improvements for our future project. First of all, the file that contains the keylogger is not a Trojan, which when downloaded will immediately see what it is. The target will see what it is and what it contains. Sending an email to the hacker as a report will reveal the hacker's email. Although the victim won't be able to access the email and delete its content, they can still stop the report just by deleting the email and from the code or reporting it. Secondly, the file itself is not automatically activated when the victim downloads it. When the file is downloaded, the victim needs to run a Python file themselves in order for the keylogger to activate. In real life scenario, it wouldn't be helpful because we need access to the victim machine. We have to download it, the script, and then we have to activate it, and we have to do a lot of things, which will get you noticed. Thirdly, only it doesn't support every operating system. It only supports Linux, and blocks out Mac and Windows. It will be detected and blocked out. Next, list of online requirements. The project does not need any hardware requirement in order to run, but most of the requirement will come from software instead. So the operating system will need a Python interpreter, also a virtual machine operating system, which we recommend to use, and the three Python library, which is Pynput, threading, and the SMTP lib. Okay, last, this is our conclusion. While the keylogger is working as intended, it is not efficient. This is the conclusion for our project. It is not efficient enough for the keylogger to send the data back to the hacker. The project can still be improved to make it as a full-time malware by adding a backdoor and convert it into a binary executable file while converting as a Trojan. So detection and prevention. How do you know your computer is infected? This is not for our project. It's more like for detect and prevent keylogger in general, because our project is not like a full-time malware yet. Next, infection method and symptom. So on the left it is the infection method, and on the right it is the symptom. Infection method such as an infected link, phishing scam, yeah. And the symptom is suspicious hardware. This is mostly for physical keylogger, known process, keyboard, mouse malfunctioning, and stuff like that. There are two main ways to confirm the presence of keyloggers, though. It is antivirus and anti-keylogger application. Also, and one more is the manual analysis. It's manual analysis. Lastly, prevention. So the main way to prevent keyloggers is probably awareness, to not like just go and pick up random USB and stuff and stick into your computer, but also like we recommend doing something along the line of like monitor process utilization, keep antivirus protection up to date, manage hardware access and stuff like that. Okay, we're done now. Thank you. We're going to show like our project now.
Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
So when, like we mentioned before, in order for the victim to access the keylogger, it requires the victim to actually activate the file itself. So in this case, I will activate the file itself, which is the main file, the plugger.py. Once we activate it, it will say keylogger start. And so here we can write anything. So for example, this is an example of how a keylogger work. Or we can just write some sign, go up, left, right. We can write number, anything we want, and after the time is done, it will print out what key have we written. So for example, here I've used a shift key, and this is an example of how a keylogger works. And once it's done, it will send out a report through an email, like I mentioned before. And this email right here is we have set a fake email called cyberfake.project. And once the keylogger start, it will send out an email called a keylogger start. And then it will follow by the keylogger of that we just type in. And this, sorry, the timing can be set through our Python file. So for example, here I have set to 20 seconds. It will send out a report one time, which in this case would be inefficient if we want to use it to as a malicious intent. But if we want to use as a malicious intent, we would want to set as, for example, like half an hour a time or an hour a time. And yes, this is all for our project. And thank you for listening. If you have any question, feel free to write down in the discussion. So yeah, thank you.